This is weird. This will never not be weird to me. PS5, Gears of War. Let's get into it.
Gears of War Reloaded is the latest re-release of the classic Xbox 360 original, released all the way back in 2006. Oh god, it was almost 20 years. Originally created and developed by Epic Games, you know, these guys nowadays. But Gears of War set a new standard for third-person shooters and the whole idea of cover shooters. After it came out, it seemed like every game in existence took some sort of inspiration from Gears' cover system. Resident Evil 4 may have been the trailblazing game for third-person shooters and putting the camera over your shoulder, but Gears of War taught the industry how to take cover and not have it feel like complete garbage. Gears is a very personal game for me. It was the first game I ever played back on my arcade model Xbox 360 back when I was like 10 years old. At one point when I was playing Reloaded, my fiance asked me what game I was playing and I responded, "Oh, it's a classic." And then I was like, "Oh geez, that is a terrifying statement, but it's unfortunately true." Ugh, don't get old, people. So how does Gears of War hold up after all of these years? Is this new Reloaded edition worth the $40 that Xbox and Microsoft are asking you to pay? Well, in short, it's a fine port of a fantastic game, but other than a new refresh for the Gears multiplayer scene, I wouldn't say there's a ton of bang for your buck here. What's going on, everyone? My name is Evan, and thank you for stopping by the channel. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button, and let's not waste any more time. So, fair warning here, I'm just not going to do a whole review of the original Gears of War. This thing is almost 20 years old, and like I said before, it's a classic. It's aged like fine wine. Gears of War sees you taking up the role of Marcus Phoenix, a decorated soldier turned prison convict who's set free right at the beginning of the game. You see, in this world, humanity is locked in a fight for survival against the Locust, a horde of creatures that emerged from under this planet's surface and chose violence. Real talk, quick. I always found it funny that they popped out of the ground and it's like, oh shit, they have guns. Like, that sucks. That is awful luck. Like, remember when those spotted lanternflies started appearing everywhere and people were like, oh, squish them on sight. Imagine if you went to step on one of those guys and they pull out a fucking gun. Like, that'd be crazy. Anyway, Gears of War feels just as good to play now as it did in 2006. It's probably better. I hadn't played the game in easily a decade, and it took me all of 10 minutes to fall back in love. At its core, Gears is a cover-based shooter. Compared to a lot of more modern stylings, the pace is pretty slow, and unless you're a movement god going on the warpath with the Nasher in multiplayer, it's vital to stay behind cover and stand your ground. I can't lie, I died a lot, and you'll see cuts in this gameplay. It's pretty obvious. I think I even left a few deaths in because it just took me a bit to readjust my brain away from the running and gunning I've become so used to in my single player shooters. Thankfully, the cover mechanics still work amazingly. They feel great. Probably because most games that came after copied it in some way, shape, or form. The gunplay is just, it's crispy, so good. The arsenal, amazing. This game just hits. The Lancer, one of the coolest assault rifles ever put in any video game. It's got the chainsaw on the side, but we all know that the Nasher shotgun is easily the most fun thing to use in this entire series, especially in multiplayer. And Gears of War makes reloading fun. That's just how special this game is. The active reload is still really fun to do every single time. The campaign is about 10-ish hours long. You could play through all of it solo or with a friend, and if I were going to talk about the competitive multiplayer at length, this could be a whole video of its own. It's not really my favorite flavor of multiplayer shooter. I'm much more of like a Counter-Strike or Valorant guy, but what's on offering here is undoubtedly high quality stuff, and there's a huge fan base around it. But this isn't just Gears of War, this is Gears of War Reloaded. You know, remastered, reload, whatever. So what's new this time around? Not much. No, almost nothing. If you didn't already know, or if you hadn't seen this video I posted a few months ago, Gears Reloaded is a remaster of a remaster, a port of a port. Released almost 10 years to the day of Reloaded's release, Gears of War Ultimate Edition came out in 2015 for the Xbox One. It had upgraded 1080p visuals, sound, multiplayer modes, quality of life tweaks, and a few added missions that were previously only exclusive to the PC release. That game ran at 30 frames a second in the campaign, and 60 frames a second in multiplayer. Comparatively, Gears of War Reloaded features upgraded 4K visuals, those same multiplayer modes with full crossplay and cross progression, the same quality of life tweaks from the previous port, the same added missions, this time all running at a solid 60 frames in the campaign and 120 if your display supports it in multiplayer. That sound familiar? Yeah, it's pretty much the same formula here. This release practically has nothing new. I mean, there's a few enhancements. The game does look very pretty. It still has that 50 Shades of Grey palette, but It's a little bit more colorful compared to the original release. I know some people are kind of divided on that with the Ultimate Edition, but there is more color here. There's also PS5 Pro support and adaptive triggers on the DualSense, which I want to know from you guys really quick. Do you leave this option on? Leave me a comment below. I always seem to turn it off. I guess I don't love having the controller fight me when I try and shoot my gun. I don't think it's really a bad feature either. It's just not really my cup of tea. So let me know what you think. Other than that, there's not much new content here at all. And I guess that brings me to my main discussion point of this video. At the beginning of this video, I asked two questions. Is Gears of War still a great game? And is it worth the asking price of $40? I honestly found it a little uninteresting to just kind of do a straight review on the game. That was my original intention, but there's just not enough new here to make it an interesting discussion. So I want to open it up and talk about the value proposition around Reloaded. I appreciate that this isn't a full price release. $60 would have been outrageous, but is it worth $40? Especially when the original and the Ultimate Editions both go for around $10. I mean, Gears of War is not a particularly expensive game. For PlayStation players, it's a bit easier to justify. It's an oddity to even have this on the shelf, and the PS5 has a physical release with the campaign complete on the disc, which is very nice. Somewhat surprising given Microsoft's recent track record of releasing essentially game key discs with no data on them, or not enough data to actually play the game. But for Xbox players, the value proposition kind of blows. There's no physical release, unlike Ultimate Edition, and if you had that disc, you don't get a free upgrade like those who had a digital copy. That's right, Microsoft is upgrading digital owners of Ultimate Edition, but physical owners and collectors, well, you're out of luck, you gotta pony up this time around. They also made sure to delist Ultimate Edition just before Reloaded came out. I also don't understand why we keep getting remasters of only the first Gears of War game. I mean, it's been 20 years since that came out. Gears of War 2 and 3 are excellent, stellar games, and this is a fantastic trilogy that is really worth playing all the way through. Unfortunately, Gears of War 2 and 3 have been locked to the 360 in terms of physical releases. I know there is backwards compatibility, but these games deserve remasters just like the first one, and they haven't gotten it. It looks like we may be getting more Reloaded versions, potentially, of 2 and 3, but why couldn't we skip the extra steps and just had a trilogy like Mass Effect Legendary Edition or Halo the Master Chief Collection? Those were $60 well spent. Tons of value. Especially Mass Effect coming from a company like EA. They didn't have a problem shipping out all three of these games in one package. If we get Gears 1, 2, 3 remasters, I don't love paying $40 each for those. As it stands right now for Reloaded, I would say Gears is just enough to earn that $40 price tag. I feel like I have a little bit of an angel and a devil on my shoulder. On one hand, the angel is telling me Gears of War is an amazing game and you should absolutely play it. On the other shoulder, the devil is like, yeah, but you know this release is just not the best value in the world. Meanwhile, over here, we got Pac-Man World 2 Repack coming out, which is a full-ass remake, and it's only $30, but I'll digress. Gears and Pac-Man are on different levels, I guess. In the end, Gears of War is an outstanding game. Gears Reloaded is a so-so release. You get about 10 hours from the campaign, dozens more if you hit the multiplayer and do another lap through the story and co-op. I'm never going to recommend you not to play Gears of War. It's a full-on modern classic, even if saying that makes me feel old. And I'm not even 30 yet. It's not the remastered trilogy we probably should have gotten, but I would say Reloaded is worth a pickup, especially if you're getting a PlayStation copy. Otherwise, you're best left to check it out on Game Pass. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. I've been playing Gears since Sunday. I actually managed to get a copy early, and I have been enjoying it. And I felt like making a little bit of a video on it, but I wanted to take a bit more of a different angle than just a straight review. Definitely feels like Microsoft just wanted an excuse to slap a big price tag on this and release it in PlayStation, but let me know what you think down below. Leave me a comment. Are you playing Gears Reloaded? Do you think we should have gotten a Gears trilogy instead of this release? Let me know, and let's start a discussion down in the comments. Until the next one, peace out, guys. I'll see you a little bit later. Have a good one.